here I am at the end of round 36. I've got 44 double crochets and I've basically worked in one continuous round to make the foot. It does say in the pattern that when you get to the end of round 36, if you're not quite at the side, which I'm not, work another 5 or 6 stitches, whatever you need, just to take you to the side. So let me just get myself there, because the next bit that we're going to do is the start of the heel shaping. Okay, so that will just take me back to there. And there you can see if I let, oh no, another couple, not quite there just yet. And then when you are there, just double check, yeah, perfect. You then just want to slip stitch into the next stitch to finish that round and chain 1. Now I'm not going to turn at this point because we're now going to carry along here, but what we are going to do, we're now going to start working in rows just to make this little back segment of the heel. So looking at my pattern, it's telling me to double crochet 22, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. 1, 12, 15, 18, 21, 22. Now, what I'm going to do at this point, it doesn't actually say to do this in the pattern, but I found this to be quite useful, is to take your stitch marker and just mark the beginning and end of that row that you've just done, which is row 37, which is that one there. And just check that between them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. You've got your 22 stitches. Okay, so then going back to the pattern, at the end of row 37, you're going to chain 1, and this time you are going to turn, because we're now just going to be working on these 22 stitches. So for row 38, the pattern says double crochet along the row, decreasing in the first 2 stitches and the last 2 stitches. So I'm going to do exactly that. So to decrease, you just do a basic decrease, so across the first 2 stitches. Right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, carrying along the row. I'm coming up towards the end, and I need to remember that the last 2 stitches of this row I'm also going to decrease. These 2 that I'm going to decrease on. 1 in there, a bit fiddly around the stitch marker, and decrease. Okay, so that's the stitches that you've worked along. You've decreased 2 at the end there, you've decreased 2 at the end there. Chain 1 and turn. And for row 39, you're just going to do a straight row of double crochet, and because I've decreased in the last 2 stitches, you will actually have 20 stitches there. Just keep working all the way, whoops, along to the end of your row. So those last two rows were rows 38 and 39, and what the pattern now requires you to do is to repeat those 2 rows 4 more times. So carry on following your pattern, and I will meet you back here when we've done the extra 4 sets of 38 rows 38 and 39. Okay, so now I've done my repeats of rows 38 and 39, and as you can see, this is kind of making a little shaped piece, which is going to be this underneath piece of the heel just here. Once you've done your 4 repeats, you have to do 1 more row of 38, so I'm just going to quickly do that now. So we'll do the 2 decreases just like you've been doing in the other rows. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now at this point we need to just finish off, so I'm going to slip stitch there, and we're going to finish off. Sorry, I should have had my scissors ready and I didn't. So we're going to finish off there and pull that one through. Now what we're going to do, the next part, we're going to work some stitches up here along the top and down the other side, all in one piece, and that's actually going to kind of shape that little bit of the heel so that it starts to come in and make the top part of the heel. Basically the heel is worked in 2 bits, so we've just done that bit there, and now we're going to do this little bit here. So one thing I did find quite useful before I did this bit, and you'll see why in a minute, where you've marked the end of row 37, count back 2 stitches, 1, 2, and place your marker. So there's my end of 37, 1, 2, and then do it on the 3rd one in. So I'm going to place 1 at that end and 1 at this end. You'll see why in a minute. I just found it helped me a little bit when I was coming up to the second part of the heel. Okay, sorry, these are very fiddly. It's going to go in there. Okay, right, so coming back to this, you need the right side facing you. You need to get your yarn and rejoin with the slip stitch. I'm going to take this out now at the end of row 37. We're going to join with a slip stitch as the pattern says, and then we're going to chain 1. Now what you need to do is you need to work 11 double crochets up this side. So working your way along, and there's no sort of hard and fast rule about exactly where to do it, just kind of find the nearest space that looks sort of logical and work your way up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so you can see that's already made that edge much neater there. So now what I need to do on this part, I'm going to work along the top here. So I've done my 11, I'm now going to work along the top, but again at each corner I need to decrease 2. Just exactly as we did the decreases before. I'm then going to work 8 stitches across the top. Exactly like that. I'm then going to decrease 2 more. And like I say, don't worry too much about, you know, exactly where this, as long as you get that pattern, you know, the stitch pattern in, that should be fine. And now I'm going to work another 11 stitches back down to my marker again. Just sort of finding the spaces as you work your way down. 3, 11. Now when you get to this point, you've got to the end of your row where the first stitch marker is, and what the pattern requires you to do is to now slip stitch into the next sock on your pattern. So in other words, I'm going to go into that first one there on the main part of the sock, slip stitch, because what we're trying to do now is to bring this piece up. So I've slip stitched at the end. You then do a chain 1, and we're going to now repeat exactly what we've done before. So double crochet 11, we decrease 2, this time we work less stitches in the middle, we decrease 2 and work 11 down. So I'm going to do this bit and then I'll come back and meet you here in a minute. So basically follow your pattern now up and to round 52. I'll see you back in a minute.